Real 92.3, LA's home for big boy hip hop and R&B. Yep. It's the hashtag Real After Party. Me, DJ Damage Letty, and Dre Sinatra.
Oh, but we're not alone.
Oh, no.
We got Zendaya in here.
What's up? How you guys feeling?
It's great to have you here on our station for the first time
I know.
ever.
I'm very excited to be here.
It's kind of like a stamp every time we get a Cali artist, especially one that gets such acclaim and love like you. So thank you for coming through.
Of course. No, I appreciate it. I appreciate the love.
And you come with some new music.
You know, I had to. No, I've been working on music for like a really long time now, so I'm very excited. This is definitely a moment I've been waiting for.
Jeez, how long has the preparation been for this project?
3 years because the last thing I put out was when I was 16.
Yeah.
And you know, obviously a lot changes from 16 to now. This year I'll be 20. You know what I mean? So it's like. It's crazy, and as a young person, our minds are developing so fast, and we're just like, the thing we thought was cool last week is not cool this week. And
I don't want to write about that
you
anymore.
know what I mean? Like, I'm over that, you know what I'm saying? Over that sound, like, I'm moving on, you know? So it was just been such a creative process, and just me growing. I mean, my voice is changing. I've been working so hard on my voice and, like, becoming better, and so, like, my voice was changing, and I had to re-record things, and then I didn't like things. Right. So it's such a process, but, you know, I really wanted to take the time because I'm an overthinker. I'm not going to lie. I'm a perfectionist. I'm a Virgo, whatever. Michael Jackson's a Virgo. Beyonce's a Virgo. Yeah. Just saying. Okay, just throw those out there.
I like it.
But, you know, I go through things and over again because I want them to be perfect. You know what I mean? And it was all about taking the time to make something that I was proud of that I want my name on, you know.
That's what I'm talking about. New single with Chris Brown.
Yeah.
Give us the details on this single.
Well, I mean, I've had this song for like a year.
Because it's something new.
And when you know what I'm saying? And when I first heard it, I was like obsessed. Absolutely. Because it had that creep.
Yeah, TLC creep.
What? And it just came in right away, and I was like, guys, I'm obsessed with this song.
How old are you again? You ain't 19.
The song came out 2 years before I was born.
Jesus, you're
technically.
old soul, man.
You make me feel old.
I mean, my dad, I'm not going to put him on blast, but he's older. And, you know, and that wasn't even, that is my, not even his, like, he was, you know, his generation is not even TLC yet. That's my older brothers and sisters, but I have a lot of older brothers and sisters where, you know, that's where I got a lot of my musical references from because they're all grown, and, you know, that's where I kind of grew up with them, and when they were taking care of me, I got to hear what my big sister was listening to.
So you were allowed to listen to that song, because that song, you know.
Oh yeah, I have parents who never sheltered me from anything. Right. You know what I mean? I feel like that's technically the proper parenting, if you ask me.
I agree.
Because you can't know
about it, but
exactly.
You're not.
You gotta know. You gotta be. You can't expect somebody to go out there in the world and just know everything, because when they find out on their own, it's like giving a person a test they never have been able to study for.
Yeah,
you're gonna fail. You know what I mean? So my parents prepare me. They give me all the tools I need to be successful.
CDs
and some TLC. Exactly. It's a little bit of TLC.
Preparation, though.
You know what I'm saying?
Those are great role
for the real world. So, you know, like when I heard that immediately, that was what kind of caught my ear, I guess you could say. And then, you know, obviously it came from Babyface's camp and, you know, working with the Rascals. So I went in there and recorded it with Babyface.
Oh.
No pressure.
And I was just like, this is crazy, like what is happening right now, you know? So, you know, working with him and then just kind of making the song my own, I really appreciate people like him who, no matter how legendary they are, they allow you to have freedom and make the record what you want to make it. So I was able to do whatever I wanted to it and just have fun and just go off and just do what I wanted to it and make it my own, which is really, really cool. And then obviously I met Chris Brown through like a friend, and I was like, I'm a dork. I'm a nerdy 19-year-old. And I was like, hey man, like I was there with my parents, and I was like, hey, like I want you to hear my music and just like pick the song that like you like the best. And I want him to pick and be excited about it, and that was the one that he picked, and it already happened to be the one that I wanted to be my single. So I was like, yo, I'm not gonna stop you, whatever you want to do, Chris.
Destiny.
If you want it, boom, let's just go ahead, do what you want to do. So he was so nice to myself and my family and everything, and really gracious with this time. So I you know, I appreciate that. And of course, you know, he's a great talent, you know, and I respect like he's able to dance and he's able to sing. So I wanted to be able to hold my own next to someone like Chris Brown, you know what I mean? I want to be like, yeah, I can do this too, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
Me too.
Right? Yeah. So it was, you know, it's been quite the process with the song and just making it perfect, but like it's all worth it.
Yeah, it sounds great. I do have to ask you, kind of going back a little bit about your voice. Was that scary to know my voice is changing and you don't necessarily know how it's going to change?
Yeah.
So it could change for the better, for worse. Like all of a sudden you might not be able to sing anymore.
Yeah.
How you sound.
I mean, for me, I think, I was thankful because I was just like, I was becoming in the studio so much. Like after I would, do my job, like I would work and I would go to the studio and I just wanted to grow. I wanted my voice to be better and I wanted to get better and I wanted to. So I was in there so much, like, and I would tell, like, my, vocal producer and everything and everyone I worked with, I was like, give me the hardest licks you have. Like, just lay it on me and let me just work and let me just try to be able to get it. And so, like, in fact, when we did the Something New song, like, I sent it to Chris and he did his thing on it and then sent it back. And I was like, oh, no, I'm recutting this. I'm doing this again.
Hey!
I was like, nah, Chris, big bro's not about to show me up. He's like, wait a minute, I gotta come back with my own now. Come on. So I had to go back in and like do some more stuff. And I was like, I laid on top of an ad lib he put down. I was like, man, I'm learning this. Let's do this. So it was fun, and it's fun to challenge yourself.
I have a question. Like, has anybody from the TLC camp hit you? Like,
yes.
you heard it or we
well,
love it?
I reached out first. I wasn't gonna
She's
put
so
out.
smart.
I wasn't gonna put out the song without the blessing.
yeah.
What? That would be disrespectful. I'm not gonna do that. So first of all, obviously it came from Babyface, so that's a good start. But I kind of built a relationship with T-Boz through something else, through charity.
That charity work.
Nice.
Yeah.
So we kind of connected through that because that's something that I love to do and I love to work on. That's just something that
It's a personal.
it makes me happy is doing charity work and things like that. So we connected through that. And then when I knew the single that was going to be my single and everything, I wanted her to hear it and I invited her to my set and I was like, hey, I want you to hear it and I want your blessing. Basically, it's like I want you to enjoy it. I want you to like it. And she may or may not be in the video, So let's just say, like, I had to. You gotta respect other people's art and other people's music. So I made sure I checked that off the list.
Yeah, and that was the
Well, you got that done first. That's very smart.
Exactly.
So what can this? What do you have any ideas for how the video's gonna look yet, or is it a little too early for that?
It's done. The video is done. But I can't tell you. I mean, I can't
tell us. But you
No. I didn't want to do too
details.
literal. I didn't
I
want to
got
do
you.
literal.
Got you.
So let's just say it's a movie. I basically decided, like, I was like, I don't want to do music videos. I want to do music movies. Like, I want it to be very cinematic. I want everything I do to be like a movie. So just expect a movie, people. That's all.
A movie.
A
I love
movie.
the creativity in
I
you.
want a movie.
A lot. Oh, I do have to ask. We saw this little note about you. You were in kindergarten twice.
Yes.
Why?
Because I'm right on the cutoff date.
I'm on the cutoff day too.
So in September. So like it was just I was kind of right in the middle, and it just my parents and I kind of wasn't keeping up with the rest of the kids.
Right.
I was like on the younger side, So they just decided to let me do it again. And at first I was like, that's annoying because all my friends, but. I think it's definitely smarter to do that younger. It's harder when you're like in 7th grade and you got to repeat 7th grade. But when you're like in kindergarten, it's not that big of a deal. You do kindergarten again and then you keep moving. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely feel like that was the right decision. Both my parents are teachers. So they knew what they were doing.
Yeah.
And I think it was a very smart decision because then I was able to grow at the right pace and be in the right I would much rather be not be struggling, and just be able to learn, So that was a good decision.
That's
Any
dope.
parents out there?
It's not
a
like
good
you didn't
decision.
know your colors or anything.
Yeah.
It was like you were good. It was just the date.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No.
It happens,
Yeah.
And now they can't keep up with you. Look how
You know what I'm saying?
That's cool.
You know what I'm saying?
How did you know that being a creative was for you? Like, this is where you're gonna go to.
Well, I think I always knew. Both my parents, are obviously, they were educators and everything like that. But my mom actually worked 2 jobs, and she was a teacher and she also worked at the California Shakespeare Theater. So when I was little, I would, go watch these Shakespeare theater programs, which were incredible, and it was weird that like an 8-year-old would be interested in that. Like an 8-year-old from Oakland's like interested in like Shakespeare and stuff, and actually understands it and respects it and was into it, because my mom worked on the patron side, so she wasn't an actress or anything. She was dealing with customers and people and seating people and all that stuff like that. So I just gravitated towards that, and that's I think where the acting thing came from.
Nice.
And I think when it came to music, I just have a musical family. My dad plays the drums. All my aunties and uncles sang together at some point, you know what I mean? So it just, that kind of ran in the family, and I just love that, and I love music, and and so there you go, there goes that.
Yeah.
And then dancing, you know, was something I tried to do in my living room ever since I was like 2 years old, and just decided I really want to do this, and I was terrible at first, but I worked my butt off, and now I became a dancer as well. So
I don't think anybody would say a 2-year-old was terrible at dancing though.
No, okay. At 2, I would not literally. Okay, when I started,
pressure on yourself.
I started really, working
at
working when I was like, I think I started hip hop dancing when I was like 8. And look,
you're learning.
there were some dope 8-year-olds out there, and I'm the kind that do not like to be showed up by anyone.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So I was like, oh, I'm not having this. I would like record the rehearsals, take it home, practice. You know what I'm saying? So
What you do with their leg? Watch me do that.
yeah, watch me do that.
And then spin.
And then add a little something, something. I remember my first job I ever had in LA was for like a Kids Bop video or something.
Hey.
And literally, like, of course we weren't allowed to, it wasn't our singing or whatever, but we were supposed to do the dancing to it or whatever. And these kids were doing flips and stuff. Like, these kids were turning flips and doing the crazy stuff. And obviously I don't do that. I've never done that in my life. So it came to my turn. And I was like, well, how am I going to be? These kids are doing B-boy moves and all this stuff.
Is that like an audition? Like when you were auditioning for it?
No, this was during the actual shooting. We're shooting it, right? So let me tell you what Zendaya decides to do.
What'd you do?
Little Zendaya decides out of nowhere that I'm going to try to do the flip that I do in my living room in front of everybody. I did it, and I landed on my feet.
What?
So I went for it, people. I did a front flip. I have never in my life a front flip. And I've never in my life done a front handspring. What the? I tried in my living room, but I was like, you know what? I'm not about to be showed up today, and I did it. And I landed. I didn't break an ankle, and it looked cool. And I was like, yeah, I do that all the time. My dad was like, what are you doing?
She's on fire. It's my daughter.
That's what's what. Yeah, no, he was like, where did that come from? I was like, honestly, Dad, I have no idea.
Yeah, but I did it.
I had to do it.
So that competitive nature always comes back in your life, and you just feel like you have to, I don't know, not show people up, but you just like to show and prove.
Well, exactly. It's not about, I think it's less about other people and more about, like, I have to do better than myself.
Gotcha.
Like, if I feel like I reach a level, then I have to work harder. You never, you know, the best. You can always get better.
Got you.
There's always room for improvement, and that's in every area. That's not just as, artist or whatever, but that's as a human being.
Yeah.
I constantly try to become a better person. Like, I'm like, even if I like let negative thoughts come in my mind, or I think some type of way, I'm thinking petty, I'm just like, dude, like, you're better than that. Like, you're zen, chill. Like, I'm good. You know what I mean?
So what do you suck at?
What do I suck at? Now I suck at basketball.
Really?
Yeah. Look, when I was little, again,
Okay.
I tried to, I did a little bit of everything, but those skills are gone. These are completely gone. And plus I have long nails now. Like,
That's
I can't
true.
play with these. I'm not about to cut these off so I can play.
Not my nails. Not some balls.
No, absolutely not. It's okay. I'll watch Steph Curry. That's okay.
That's true. Hey, speaking of, the Bay has a lot of stuff going for them.
Kinda
Even
killing
the
it right
Super
now.
Bowl being out there there, the energy of sports in the Bay. Is it hype for you seeing all of that kind of coming to the home, like coming back to upstate?
No. It's great. It's really, really great. And I love kind of seeing positive lights being shined on Oakland, the Bay Area. You know what I mean? Because it can be, it has a negative, whatever. But I love seeing good things coming from that city. And that's just not only just, with sports, whatever, with people. You know what I mean? There's some really amazing artists that have come out of the Bay Area, and it's great to see them flourish. Like, for example, she's basically like my sister, Kaylani, who's killing it. And she was the first person that was nice to me in 6th grade. And we've been friends ever since. So she's like my sister.
Yeah.
But to see her grow and, like, to come from where we both come from, it's like she's, that's incredible. And it's beautiful to see. And I love supporting that.
That's dope. Are you a Raider fan?
Of course.
So what about that move to Vegas? How do you feel
I heard about that. See, somebody said that, but I don't think that's true. I thought we were staying. What I heard was we're staying in Oakland.
So what I read in the article is that the Sands Hotel spokespeople came out and said, we're building a new forum or venue, and we're bringing the Raiders to come look at it when it's done. So it's like maybe they would go there.
Interesting. I don't think
are you a Raiders fan for home plate, or are you a Raiders fan?
No, I'm a Raiders fan for home plate. I'm sorry.
Okay. Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's, if you leave us, that's kind of like, that's messed up. I don't know if I can.
Would you be a Niner fan?
I don't know because there's such a battle in our household.
I know.
Now, like Raiders, Niners, like one of my brothers is a Niners fan, and he's like the outcast. We're like, we can't speak with you. Like, get that out of our house, burn it.
It's your Kaepernick jersey. Go away.
Get it out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. That's a very difficult question.
Yeah.
It's a serious question.
Yeah, you
know?
have to think about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they said the Rams weren't going to leave, and they are
They're
leaving.
coming here. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's cool.
I
That'd
do
be
have
scary.
to commend you on stuff too, because when I watch you and I've seen you take the role, a lot of times, of course, it's not asked. You don't ask for your position of being a role model, but I feel like you've accepted and you've embraced your position of being a role model to kids.
Thank you.
Whereas a lot of many other artists or celebrities are like, let me live my life. Who cares about that stuff? You've really embraced it. You make sure to talk to girls, and even as simple as, I remember I'm seeing this video of you like, whether you want to wear makeup or you don't want to wear makeup, if you look on fleek, you look on fleek. Little things like that a girl can tie onto because they need someone like you to say it.
Thank you.
Is that just in you to be,
Yes.
like you said, charity work is something that fulfills you personally?
Yeah. I mean, 100%. I think that's just, I've always been a very like outspoken type of person. I think that's like, again, that's my parents coming in through me. You know what I mean? But, I think technically, if you ask me, if you get into this industry and you expect, like, if I know that, like, I'm going to be in the public eye,
right,
to me, that is taking on the responsibility of these people looking at me. That, I think, it's a certain, like, level of, like, you have to accept that. You have to know, like, you kind of, you know how you said, like, it's not really your job, but technically it is. You know what you signed up for. And I signed up for this lifestyle, and that comes along with people knowing who I am. And I can choose to do with that what I please. I can choose to use it as a negative thing. I could choose to forget about it, but I choose to use it as a positive thing, and I choose to take it as a responsibility. And, I would, like, somebody asked me and they were like, hey, does it ever get annoying that, like, people know you for being outspoken and talking about things versus, like, your music and your project? I was like, absolutely not. I would much rather be known for the human being that I am than the last single that I did. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that speaks a lot more of who I am. And that just means a lot more to me. You know what I mean? So I think for me, yes, it is a responsibility. Do I have to? No, I don't have to.
I love that you do.
I don't have to, technically. No one, it's not my job to be people's parents or anything like that. But I take on that responsibility because not only is it something that I just feel obligated to do, but it makes me feel good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That fulfillment's everything.
Exactly. Being able to do something for someone else, being able to give someone confidence by literally posting an Instagram, like to speak to a woman who's like, man, I appreciate that. Like, I thank you for that. That's, why wouldn't I want to do that?
That's awesome. Is there anything that you feel like is an issue for, especially I know you wrote a book towards for younger girls.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you feel is like such a prevalent issue that you don't really see so much of a change from, or that you feel especially passionate for?
I think anything that has to do with young people. So anything that has to do with children, young people, teenagers, whatever, people my own age and younger, because I feel like we're the future. We're the future presidents. We're the future, rulers of the world, really, and it's in our hands. And one thing that I think, is we're so quick to grow up. We want to grow up so fast that we don't take the time to enjoy the things that we can do now. And we always think that, we have to be a certain age to make a difference, or we can't speak up yet, or, and that's why I kind of like this new wave of young people that is outspoken and is taking a stance politically and being kind of socially aware. And it shows that you can do that at any age. You don't have to wait till you're grown, technically, to speak your mind and to be passionate and have a voice and make changes and differences. Like, that's cool to me. So I think what I'm most passionate about is young people.
Does that sometimes interfere with some of the music you want to make? Because I know this new song you have is fun, it's sexy, and I know a lot of fans follow you, of course, for your music, for your acting, but also for your message. That sometimes you may get not like a backlash, but there's some people there saying, oh, well, you're saying this, and then your music is about that. Does that ever come into play?
Well, here's my thing, is I'm always very careful about how I do, like, especially when it comes to topics on music. It's like, you can talk around things. I just am not going to say what, you know what I mean? You can talk around things, so it's like, really, it can mean whatever it wants to mean for whoever's listening to it. You know what I'm saying? It's up to you to decide what that means to you. And that's why, like, kind of how I want to keep it. And I think that's kind of like the greatest in the world, like Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He talked around all kinds of things.
Even the song "Creep" itself. Like, I remember listening to it. I didn't know what
I had no idea
but,
what it means.
Literally, like someone creeping. Like,
exactly.
It's what you put into it as well.
Exactly. It's what you want to make it. And I think that's the way. That's kind of like the loophole. That's the way to have edgy music and allow my older fan base or whatever to enjoy the music and understand it, and also have young people listen to it, because they can. It doesn't have to be
that.
And I don't need to cuss and whatever. I don't need to do that to make a great song. Michael Jackson never did it, so I don't think I got to do it either, you know? So it's just, I think it's a balance, you know what I'm saying? It's a way to be edgy and push the limits, but do it at the right pace. That's all this whole kind of transition into womanhood is all about pace. Taking my time, making the right steps and the right moves when it needs to be made, you know? Not going too fast.
You're
no,
like
that's perfect.
Little baby Gandhi.
Everyone Gandhi. I'm Zopra.
Zopra! I freaking love it.
Zopra.
That's what my stylist calls me, Zopra.
Zopra, what can you tell me today?
You know what I'm saying?
No, but I do wanted to ask you, just especially because you have so many people incorporated in your music that are of like, and I consider you just as much hip hop as another hip hop artist. Do you have like a favorite hip hop verse or something you rap when you know like you need that energy? Because I have, like, Pac is all, I'm from out here. So
let me tell you, I'm a huge Tupac fan, and, like, anytime How Do You Want It comes on, every lyric.
Are you serious?
Every lyric, people.
So you can lay some lyrics for How Do You Want
Zed.
It?
Yes,
like,
but I can't right now because that would be inappropriate, you know what I'm saying? Because there's some lyrics that I can't say in the public of my father. But that's technically that's our favorite Pac song, so absolutely.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I love that song too. It's such a good vibe.
So good.
I forgot how it goes. How does it go?
How do you want it? How
No,
does
the
it feel?
verse.
I love the way you put your out. Want it so bad I'm about to pass out. Okay, I'm like bleep.
Literally every other word is a bleep.
Yeah, so I'm like trying to censor myself.
Yeah, we're trying to get you to rap Zendaya.
Real rap raw bars.
Hey,
no,
fire.
I can't actually rap. That would be an atrocity.
Have you tried? Stop.
No.
Stop. You're from the Bay.
You tried to rap.
I have never tried to rap.
No E40-isms in you?
Like that's as good as no. I cannot rap, and I will never try to rap because that would be dumb. Because that would be false advertising.
Got you.
Because I can't come out here and be like, oh, well, freestyle for us. I'd be like, yo, what's up?
But you
I'm
can like
Zendaya.
put a good 8 bars together. If you have a
Zen.
solid 8 bars, you would shock the world.
It's good. We like you how you are.
You just prep it at home. And
I have to prep at home.
Yeah.
I
and just give them 8. Like, that's it.
Yeah. I got 5 different rhymes. 5 different rhymes that I can alternate through. Yeah, that's what I need to do. And I'll just become a rap artist.
Yeah, I like that.
Disney star gone rap artist. That's awesome.
Oh, you can do it. Well, thank you for coming through. # Real After Party.
Awesome.
Thank
really
you.
amazing time with you. Thank you for giving us your time. Shout out to everybody that came with you.
Thank you guys for having me. I appreciate the love.
Yeah, and definitely on behalf of Real, it's your first time here. We appreciate you. Whenever you want to come through, like, we enjoy your spirit, period.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Well, I enjoy you guys, so.
Yay! Real 92.3.